Hello, my name is Rick Umali and welcome to a video supplement for section 7.4.4 of Learn Git in a Month of Lunches. This section is concerned with using git add -p. The -p switch enables you to pick which lines you want to add to the staging area using the Git editor. And in this example, we're going to use the VI editor. But don't be afraid about VI or the mechanics. The main thing to concentrate on is realizing we have the power to pick exactly which lines we want to put into the staging area by means of using the editor. We did this using the GUI in 7.4.3, and in this one we're going to use the command line editor. This is the command line listing, and it shows the file as it exists on the disk, what we have in the editor. Now we're going to quickly do a diff. The main thing to point out in the diff is that we have yet to add 5 lines, which are marked there in green. These are the lines that we're now going to experiment with. And in the book, what I want to do is remove the 2 comment lines that are above, these are for testing, and below, these are for testing. So in other words, I'm going to delete or omit the 2 pound signs. It's a contrived example, I grant you that, but this shows that we can do all this using the editor, and we can do this with exact precision. What we are going to do is git add -p, and when git add -p returns, it first shows the hunk, and git add -p works on hunks. So this is a hunk right here with the double @ sign, and it now prompts you to stage this hunk, and that's a question there. There follows inside of the brackets the replies that you can give to that question. Should we stage this hunk? What we're going to do is type the question mark, and when we type the question mark, the contents actually fall off the screen. So I've scrolled up slightly, and now you can see what all the letters mean, and the easiest response is Y, stage this hunk. But there's also no, do not stage this hunk, A, stage this hunk, and all later hunks. You can read all this, I'm not going to do that. The main thing is we're going to focus on E, which is manually edit the current hunk. When we type E, we are thrown into the VI editor, and this is an area that is difficult to get into. There's a lot going on because you have to know what an editor is, and you'll need to know how to manipulate this, and I'm not going to discuss all that in this supplement. The main thing to point out in the editor is that we are editing a single hunk. A hunk tells the computer how to change your file to match what you have already typed. So we have already typed these 5 lines here. What the instructions tell is how to modify this hunk line by line. So for example, the instruction here says to remove any lines that begin with minus, just make them blank. Remove the minus sign. And we don't have an example of that, so we're going to move on. To remove plus lines, we just delete them. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of these. We're going to get rid of the lines immediately above and below. These are for testing comment. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to remove the lines above and below the comment. These are for testing. We're just going to get rid of these 2 hash marks. Any line starting with the hash will be removed, so all these comments will be removed. There's also text here that explains what happens when the hunk applies correctly, and again, I urge you to read these carefully. In the book, I talk about what we're going for, and I give the VI commands here. I'm just going to demonstrate what that looks like. You can look at the lower right to get a sense of what I'm typing, but what we're really doing is we're removing those extra hash marks, which will leave just these 3 lines that will be put into the commit. Once you exit the editor, you jump right back into the prompt, and what we'll do is we'll ask git status, what's going on, and what we'll see here is that we're in that funky state where we have some changes that are ready to be committed, the 3 lines, and we also have the changes that we did not put into the staging area, which if you remember are those 2 hash marks. Now we can see that when we do git staged, this is what's in the staging area and how it's different from the previous commit. And when we do a git diff, this is what's different between what is on the disk and what is in the staging area. And the book has a diagram that shows that we're really in we're comparing 3 things: the previous commit, the staging area, and what is on the disk. What we've done is what we've done is the equivalent of what we did in 7.4.3. We selected lines that we're going to add into the commit. We selected lines that we're going to add into the staging area, line by line, and that's what git add -p gives you, is the ability to add things line by line. As I think back on it now, I think this is a pretty advanced technique, but I think it really hits home what's happening with the staging area and what's on your disk right now and what you previously committed. You really have to be aware of these 3 things. This is the end of the supplement. The next section, 7.4.5, talks about how to reset these changes. If you have questions or feedback, put it in the comments or put it in the forums. Thank you very much.